Hello and welcome back to the Fuel for Thought podcast. And today it is race review time. Bahrain Grand Prix 2024, first race of the
season. Fantastic.
And what a spectacularly average race it was.
Yeah, I could have picked it up and put it in last season, to be honest.
Yeah. And even, second to whatever wasn't that entertaining, really, was it?
No.
There wasn't many sort of narratives.
There was like 3 good overtakes.
Yeah. The first big surprise was George Russell overtaking Carlos. It was Carlos, wasn't it?
Thought it was Charles.
Charles. Yeah.
Charles.
Yes, Charles. That's right.
Because Charles was second, George was third.
For second place.
That was good.
Yeah.
While it lasted.
It didn't last, unfortunately.
No. Yeah.
But a little bit more exciting for us because where did we watch it?
We went to the F1 arcade in London.
We did.
It was good. We got there, played on the simulators for about half an hour, 3 races. It's actually a lot harder than I remember because I've been before, but
yeah,
I won every time before. But maybe I was just going easy every time.
Maybe, probably. Yeah.
But yeah, we went casual for 2 of them and semi-pro for 1 of them. And semi-pro, I just kept spinning out.
I was doing all right until you crashed into me.
Yeah, I crashed into him. That wasn't on purpose. At Silverstone.
But sim racing is genuine talent.
Yeah.
And it doesn't... Well, it equates to real racing at the top level, but my issue with it is I can't get the feel for it like I can with a real car.
Yeah.
So, but yeah.
That was good. And then, yeah, because it was a Saturday, they didn't have watch parties on.
Mm-hmm.
So we had to kind of fight for our lives to find a place to sit.
Yeah, but we got stalls in front of sort of the main TV.
Yeah, we got quite lucky because even though we didn't have a table, we literally were walking behind one of the staff and she just put down 2 stools in front of... If you've been, there's like a big screen as soon as you walk up the stairs and it's like the biggest... I think it was the biggest screen in there.
Yeah,
and we literally got sat on 2 stools right in front of that screen. So we got quite lucky.
Apart from everyone walking in front of us.
Yeah, the downside is everyone was able to just walk to and from in front of us the whole time.
Yeah.
But
yeah, anyway, the race itself, as I said, when Max was 6 seconds ahead by lap 6, it was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
It's even worse than we thought.
I was really hoping for, just not that much dominance again.
Yeah.
Especially from, I know free practice doesn't say much, but free practice, he wasn't top of any of it.
Yeah.
And if Charles had got his lap time from Q2 and Q3, he would have got pole.
Q2 lap times don't matter, do they?
No, and also we know Ferrari are good around 1 lap, but Red Bull's race pace has just always been the last season, and it seems this season is just better.
Well, man, this week so far, it's only Tuesday for us now.
Yeah.
And this week so far, so much stuff's come out in the F1 news about Red Bull and the FIA president. Oh my gosh. So I think the only thing that's going to kill Red Bull is Red Bull at this stage.
Self-destruction.
Yeah. if
Oh dear.
They will be their own demise by the looks of it. But yeah, what else? Ferrari, solid sort of second. Although, sort of second because Charles had the issues that were costing him 6 tenths a lap.
Yeah. Ferrari were really good, better than... Obviously, I didn't put Ferrari in my top 3 in my predictions, and they were better than I anticipated.
Yeah,
But Mercedes had their power unit issue.
Yeah,
it seems like that was in both the Mercedes car and the Williams. Williams were complaining about power unit issues as well, but McLaren didn't seem to have any issues like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, interesting.
But yeah, Charles Leclerc had issues.
Yeah, he said his car kept turning to the right whenever he was braking. So
just kept going off the track, didn't he?
Yeah, sad. It was good to see George Russell overtake him.
Yes.
At near the beginning, but then obviously
he
Mercedes fell off.
On to P4.
Yeah.
But let's talk about Sergio Perez.
Yes.
Did his duty getting to P2, but I'm not convinced by that performance.
Same. This is the same as last season though.
Yeah.
At the beginning of the season, it was P1, P2, and then he was P11.
He was like two seconds ahead of Carlos, like the whole race.
Yeah.
And it's like Max is 20 seconds up the road.
I saw a video on TikTok of someone filming.
I saw that.
Did you see? Someone filmed like Max Verstappen driving past, and then there was a massive wait between Sergio, then Carlos right behind him. And I mean, coming P2, that's where he should be. But the gap between him and Max is just ridiculous. And I know he didn't start behind Max, but even so, in the Red Bull, you should be able to. You have clean air in front of you. You should be able to catch up.
So I saw that video on Instagram because that's where I get my memes like an adult.
Okay. And there's like a generation divide between the 2 years between us.
And the top comment was, that wasn't Sergio, that was Max completing his next lap.
He's laughing everyone. Yeah. And then everyone follows him. That was brilliant.
I thought that quite funny.
Yeah, that was good.
Should we review our predictions then?
Let's review our predictions. I don't actually think I've got any of them right. But, right, let's see what I put.
Okay.
So, qualifying, I put Lewis Hamilton P1. Wow.
Very wrong.
Yes.
It's P9.
Yes. I should have gone for George.
Yeah.
George was up there. P2, I put Max Verstappen, which I think that was just wishful thinking. Mm-hmm. But he could have been P2 if Charles had pulled that lap out in Q3. And then P3, Fernando Alonso, which I wasn't far off either. He started P5.
P5, I think it was.
So I knew he'd pull something out of the bag.
Pretty wrong though.
Yeah, it was pretty wrong.
So I put Charles, Lewis, Max.
Okay, so Lewis you got massively wrong, but Charles and Max.
And he would be up there.
Yeah. And then for the actual race, I put Max to win.
Me too.
Well, yeah. I feel like that's just a given, isn't it? Lewis P2 obviously didn't happen. Where did he finish in the end? He was at P6?
Yes. Yeah, behind Charles.
And then P3, I put George Russell. Which again...
Let's double check mine.
No. Lewis finished 7th.
7th?
George finished 5th. Lando Norris was in a Mercedes sandwich.
I see. Yeah, so, Charles Lewis, Max. I've put Mac Verstappen for some reason.
Mac.
Yeah.
Mac Verstappen.
And then I put Max, Lewis, Charles as the top 3. So, again, that's kind of wrong. But yeah, I could have predicted Charles's issues.
No. We also did 3 random predictions, and I got none of them right.
Yeah, and I got none of them right.
Yeah. Well, you got one kind of right if it was done on qualifying. Logan Sargent.
I predicted Logan Sargent wouldn't finish last. And then he pulled over at the side of the track for like a minute.
Yeah.
And we thought he was going to be out of the race, and then he just drove off.
I think it was his steering wheel.
You think?
Because him and Alex were both complaining about the steering wheel, and Williams made a point of changing their steering wheel this year. But I saw somewhere that they changed Logan's steering wheel, so it possibly was because of that. But yeah, he didn't DNF. He carried on. Fair play to him. Mm-hmm. Even with Valtteri Bottas having a 50-something second pit stop, which was awful, but never mind. Good one from Steak Sauber.
It's actually,
Kick.
No. Steak F1 Team Kick Sauber.
Oh, sorry. I'm going to just call it Steak or Kick. I never know. I feel like, I don't know. Sometimes they just say Kick, sometimes they say Steak.
That's fine.
Everyone knows what I mean. I said Danny Rick will finish in the top 6.
But he didn't finish in the top 6.
He didn't even finish in the top 10.
Didn't finish in the points.
No.
And nor did Yuki Tsunoda.
No, gosh. Yuki Tsunoda.
God, that was a bit embarrassing.
Yeah.
Dive bombing on the cool-down lap because he was annoyed that they swapped places and nothing came of it. And you could say, oh yeah, maybe you could say they could swap back. And that might have been fair enough because, he tried it didn't work, swap back. But it wasn't for points.
No points. No point because there's no points.
Yeah.
I would understand if it meant that one of them got more points or one of them got points than the other if they didn't swap back.
Yeah.
But they were both not in the points.
Yeah.
So there was literally no advantage to one of them being in front of the other.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there was no point in them swapping back. But I do think that Yuki's immaturity might cost him a seat one day, because he's been in the sport a few years now.
Yeah.
And Red Bull will look at that and they'll be like, well, if he's acting like that, going to risk the car by dive bombing someone in the call lap, dive bombing both of like the same team, both cars could have been out.
Yeah, I mean, he's good for their relationship with Honda at the moment, and it brings in a lot of money from sort of the Japanese sponsors and that side of it. But if when Ford start their partnership, if they start their partnership at this point,
Yeah.
in 26 with Red Bull, I don't know if Honda are going to have any involvement from them, but if not, and that money stops coming in, and he's going to need to prove from his driving alone that he's worth the seat. You know?
Yeah. I mean, loads of people love him, and he's a very likable character, but when he's in the car, his anger takes over, and yeah, it can be detrimental for the team, I think, if it continues. Yeah. It's not great, especially from Red Bull's second team, which, by the way, I have a problem with them having two teams, and I know you do too, but yeah, it's just not a good look.
Yeah.
But yeah, I did feel bad for him, but him and Danny were on different strategies. Danny was on soft tyres, Yuki wasn't, so they were hoping that he would overtake the Haas, but Danny didn't. And that's simple as that. But I wonder if he had overtaken earlier, then maybe he could have taken the Haas. Mm-hmm. Or if Yuki had let him past earlier. But yeah,
we'll never know.
This always happens between teammates, doesn't it? Who's the number one driver?
Yeah, good question.
I guess Yuki may feel a bit sour about it, because obviously Danny's been in the sport a while, but Yuki's been in the seat longer than Danny has at this point. So Yuki probably thinks, oh, Danny's come in, he's expected to be the number one driver. What's going to happen to me?
He just gets angry that
exactly.
Daniel Ricciardo probably thinks he's the number one driver from experience, and he's like, no, I am.
Yeah, but personally, Danny has the experience.
Yeah. So what's your second prediction?
My second prediction that was also incorrect was Sergio Perez to DNF.
Yeah. Not with that Red Bull. Well, you said it was on. Was it? What did I say?
The car error.
No.
What?
I said it would be a unforced error. That's what I was trying to think of the term.
Yeah.
So him making a mistake.
Yeah.
Put him out
rather
for the race.
than the Red Bull.
Yeah.
Having a failure.
But as soon as he got into P2, reliability is too good.
Yeah. They haven't really had any reliability issues last season at all. So I expect that to continue this season. Mm-hmm. But yeah, he didn't DNF. In fact, there were no DNFs. And that brings me on to my third one, which I also got wrong. I said that 2 cars would DNF in the first lap. And for the first time in Bahrain Grand Prix history.
No one did.
No one did.
Crazy.
I'm not sure if it's first time in Bahrain Grand Prix history or the first time in the opening Grand Prix history.
Maybe.
I know F1 put that out on their Instagram.
Yeah. Well, I said that Sergio Perez wouldn't qualify in the top 10, and I was wrong on that.
Yeah, I think that's later down in the season. Give him a couple races, he'll get P2, and then he'll just won't make Q3 for a while.
And my third one was Max would complain about the setup. And, well, what was there to complain about? Nothing.
He was complaining about the setup all throughout, but in the race, he was like, yeah, this is lovely. Having a great time.
Ridiculous.
I was trying to find that stat, but I couldn't find it.
But hey, Red Bull might be their own downfall at some point. That's the only people that are going to destroy them.
Self-destruction.
Yeah. It seems.
God, we can only hope for some difference in P1. Do you think this season is going to be just max? Or do you think there'll be a few winners a few different winners this season.
For my own sanity, I'm going to say that there's going to be a couple different winners this season.
Oh, God, we can only hope. Do you think Sergio Perez will win, though? Do you think a different winner will be Sergio? Because I'm inclined to say no.
Statistically, yes.
Okay.
But
I think Carlos Sainz will win again this year.
you think?
Yeah. From the way he drove on Saturday, he's clearly got something to prove to Ferrari.
He does, but then Charles had this issue.
Yeah, Charles, he did. But Carlos managed to get on the podium. He overtook Charles twice. Obviously, Charles had his issue, but twice.
Yeah.
Yeah. But he's doing well to get a seat next season, I'll tell you that.
It's only one race in.
I know, so far. But getting a podium in the first race, obviously people are going to be looking at him and saying, well, yeah, I want him in our team. Hopefully he continues and he's able to prove himself. Mm-hmm. And just, be like, well, Ferrari, you could have kept me.
But
I think they definitely just would have still kept Charles. But it would have been good to, well, our uncle said it would have been good to see them fight this season between each other for the seat against Lewis.
Who?
For the Ferrari drivers, Charles and Carlos. It would have been good to see them fight, to see them fight each other. To see who gets that seat next to Lewis rather than...
Yeah, and they're never going to kick Charles though, are they?
No. He's like their golden boy.
Yeah.
Until Lewis Hamilton comes along.
Indeed.
Yeah.
So, I mean, not really much else to report on. The midfield was not that exciting.
No.
Really.
There wasn't really that many overtakes. It was kind of as expected, a bit of a continuation from last season.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm hoping that not all races are like this.
I'm sure they won't be.
Yeah.
We've got Saudi Arabia next week, which is a very quick circuit. And hopefully.
Well, I heard Zach Brown is doing the same thing this season as last season, where obviously McLaren aren't doing as bad as they were. Well, obviously it's just one race in.
Yeah.
But they're not back of the grid this season. But he said they're not bringing in the upgrades or they're not going to have a really good car until Imola, which they did that last season as well.
Yeah.
So it is a bit frustrating not seeing the McLarenites.
Yeah, but they obviously haven't been able to do the work that they expected to be able to do by the start of the season as a deadline. And so they've set sort of an extended deadline where they're going to work hard to kind of bring what they wanted to in the first place, I think.
Yeah, but it would be good because Lando finished P6. Mm-hmm. So it would be nice to see if they bring in those upgrades in Imola.
Yeah.
Where is that going to take that car?
Certainly a clear pecking order at the moment, though. With the teams.
It is.
Red Bull, Ferrari, Mercedes, McLaren, and Aston Martin.
Which puts my predictions in the bin. I put McLaren first. Well, you never know after Imola. It could be right.
I think that's exactly what I said.
Yeah, you did. God.
Well, with that, I think that kind of concludes everything, doesn't it?
It does. I wish there was more to speak about.
Yeah.
I wish there was more drama.
Off track there is.
Actually, there is, isn't there?
But
Alpine are replacing a few people.
Yeah. Red Bull are imploding.
Actually, we didn't mention Alpine.
Oh, God.
Back of the grid.
But not last.
Not last, because Logan Sargent took that spot, of course.
Yeah, Bottas as well.
Yeah. But, oh, God. It's not looking good, is it?
Feel a bit bad for them. Well, the drivers.
Yeah. Because we're big Pierre Gasly fans, obviously. It would be nice to see them have some improvements over the season. But it seems like they're not waiting around to make any changes. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See who they bring in, I suppose. But problems in the Enstone camp.
Yeah. Interesting. Well.
All right, should we call it a day then for this one?
Let's call it a day.
All right, we'll call it a day.
All right.